Hi, everybody. Helena Phoenix here, and I just wanted to do a short video to answer some of the questions that I've been getting in regards to the Ancestral Healing Zoom that I have coming up as a group um, project, as well as the ancestral healing work that I do on a regular basis. And so, when I was originally getting trained in emotion code, one of the things that Dr. Bradley Nelson brought up was how ancestral releases work. So when we have an inherited emotion that comes down the family line, and then we release that as an emotion code practitioner, it releases not only from ourselves, but also from all past and future generations of the family that may be affected by that same trap energy. And so this is also what's happening with inherited beliefs as well. So the way that Dr. Nelson found out that this happened is that he was doing a group event and he was doing an inherited release on an individual in the audience. And then after the event was over, one of the participants in the event came up to him, and she happened to be a natural medium with the ability to see spirits. I have natural mediumship ability. I rarely actually see them. I more hear and feel them, but that's, just a spectrum of ability. And so she said, asked him if he knew what was happening when he was doing these ancestral inherited releases. And he says, well, I'm just releasing this energy. And she's like, not just from the person on the stage. I can actually see the spirits of all of the ancestors coming onto the stage and joining you for that release, as well as souls that have not yet incarnated on this planet. So it's not just releasing from the person that you're working with, it's also releasing from everyone that they've ever been connected to. And so that gave me this idea that if I want to create the biggest possible benevolent change on the planet, that I can target inherited emotions from really far back. The further back on the family tree we go, the more shared ancestors we have. And if you go far enough back all the way to the beginning, we're all just one human family. And so I'm just going to do a couple of demonstrations right now, really quick. The first one, I'm going to release an emotion that is affecting much of humanity right now. And then I'm also going to release a belief that is affecting much of humanity right now. So I'm going to set the intention. My intention is that I intend to release a trapped emotion and a trapped belief from 50 plus generations back that is affecting the majority of humanity and is contributing to the inappropriateness of war, greed, and control that exists on our planet right now. So that's my intention. Now let's just see what comes up. So the first thing I'm going to go after is a trapped emotion. So what is the emotion that would like to come forward right now to be released? Column B, row 3, somewhere else, confusion, defensiveness, grief. We've got a burden of grief coming up. Is this inherited from my mother's side? Yes. From her mother, from her father, from her father. How many generations back? More than 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, more than 85, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 89 generations back, starting with the male, starting with the female, starting with the female. Do I need to know anything else? Now, one of the things that I do in individual sessions, and what's happening right now is I can actually feel, I get flashes of what feel like memories coming through from these ancestors or even past lives that we encounter that come up in these things. And this particular ancestor feels like she lost a lot of children. This feels like she has a big burden of grief from losing children first to not being able to carry them all the way through on pregnancy. She had a number of miscarriages, then a couple of toddlers in infancy because of living in poverty and filth, and then later because her son went off to war. And so there's this big burden of grief that so many of the children that she bore were taken from her far before she was ever ready to. And what parent is ever ready to see their children pass away before they do? Like none of us, none of us. And so this is a burden that's been passed down 89 generations and is affecting a lot of the planet. So I release the inherited feeling of grief from my mother's side of the family tree. I release this from all past and future generations. From every family member that has ever been touched by this burden of grief, I release it right now. Have we released that? Yes. That was very interesting. Grief is actually generated by the lungs. And so I felt that one personally very strongly as it moved through. I almost feel like I want to cry a little bit from that one. So now we're going to go after a belief. Um, beliefs are Beliefs are a subjective view that we hold that something is true or false about ourselves, others, or the world. And it is the filter through which we view and experience reality. Our subconscious mind considers beliefs to be global and absolute truth. And just like a computer, it will seek to verify or fulfill those truths. And so I'm going after a belief that may be contributing to the inappropriateness in humanity today. So let's see what comes up. Column A, column B, we are under survival. Column A, we are under victimhood. Section 1, 2, 3, 4. Statement 1, 2, 3, number 3. And this statement goes, I don't matter. How many people who are watching this video have some sort of a belief or a feeling inside of them that says, I don't matter? I don't know about you, but that's one that I've struggled with my whole entire life. So let's see where this came from. Is this from my mother's side, my father's side, inherited from my father this time? From his mother, from his father, from his father? How many generations back? More than 50, more than 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, more than 110, 20, 30, 40. So more than 130, more than 135, 130, 1, 2, 3, 133 generations back. Starting with a male, starting with a female, starting with a female. Do I need to know anything else? No. Now, this particular ancestor feels like she was nobility. She feels like she was part of the upper echelons of society. She feels very repressed by church, very repressed by this idea of original sin, that she was born dirty, that there is nothing you can ever do to make up for the fact that women condemned humanity to this burden of sin forever. And that, because of this terrible burden of original sin, you don't matter. Your only value is in who you marry or who you bear. You're not allowed to have your own opinions. You're not allowed to have your own thoughts. Your suggestions will be filtered through your husband, your sons, your father, to see if they even have any value before anybody's going to give any credence to them. And so this is a very, this feels like a pattern that has gone on for a really, really long time. And I actually encounter this kind of um, if I want to say misogyny, uh, energy a lot when I feel back into our ancestry. The feminine has been repressed for a very, very long time. And so it's time for the feminine to be honored. I release the inherited belief I don't matter. I release this from every affected root and branch of my father's side of the family tree. I release this from all past and future generations, from every family member that has ever been touched by this inherited belief I don't matter. I release it right now. Have we released that? Yes. And so, inherited energies are very interesting to me because they have a tendency to manifest in one of three ways. The first way is that we have a tendency to feel that way easily and over, almost like a pattern or a theme in our life. The second way is that we don't really manifest it one way or the other. We're just sort of a placeholder, passing it down to the next generation. The third way is we sort of run away from that emotion or energy, try never to feel or express it, act opposite to that as often as we possibly can. And sometimes we will even teeter-totter on those energies, either manifesting them or running away from them, depending on where we are in our own life experience. And so, one of the big things that has occurred to me so much in this energy healing work that I do with all of the people that I have worked with is that so much of the things that we feel and experience, so much of what is going on in the world today didn't even start with us. We all have this burden of pain and dysfunction and unhelpful beliefs that have been passed down from generation to generation that we don't even know where it came from. And so many times, this will result in having problems that are very difficult to understand, that make us feel confused, that are resistant to change because we are looking at it through the lens of our lifetime. Like, what did I do that caused this, or what happened to me in my lifetime that caused this? We're we're not even cognizant of the reality that so much of what we experience was set up generations ago from the experiences that our ancestors had or something that we might have experienced in a past life ourselves. And so it is a blessing and an honor to have these modalities, emotion code, body code, belief code, available to help us to be able to access that information, to be able to release it from our field so that humanity does not have to move forward with these burdens that we've all been carrying. And so I invite you, if you feel like you are struggling with problems that are resistant to change, or that you don't know where they came from, or these big feelings and experiences and dysfunctions that you've been trying and trying and trying to heal, and they're stubbornly stuck no matter what you do, I invite you to make an appointment with me, and let's go into our ancestry. Let's go into our past lives. Let's access our Akash and see what comes forth that might help you to understand a little bit better about your own life experiences, why you feel the way you feel, why you think the way you think, why you do what you do, why some of the dysfunction in your bodies are the way that they are. And let's go ahead and address and release those energies so that we don't have to carry them forward. Because this, to me, is some of the most important work that I do. This, to me, is helping to be that cycle breaker so that we can move forward in greater ease and grace and peace and with less bothering us. And with every single person that I work with every single ancestral burden that gets released and addressed, we are affecting not just ourselves, and we are not just healing our own lives, but we are also healing our entire family line that's been affected. And we are not just helping ourselves to feel better, we are helping so many that we might not even know, that we may never even know. We are touching their lives in a beautiful and benevolent way because our permission to heal this for ourselves gives the permission to heal it for the entirety of our family line that has been affected. And so I invite you to please, if you are inspired to do so, reach out to me, make an appointment. Excuse me, participate in one of the Ancestral Healing Zooms that I periodically do. I also make this available to everyone at all times for $5.55. You can reach out to me to release one single ancestral emotion or belief. I'm going to add beliefs to that, just one single energy coming down the family line that is affecting you, and you can even set the intention that you want, whether it is for the greatest possible healing for yourself, greatest possible healing for your family, the greatest possible healing for all humanity, or if there's some sort of special intention that you want to set for that, you don't even have to tell me. It will be done. So I would be very honored to facilitate a release for you and on behalf of your family, your lineage, and all of humanity to try and ease the biggest burden of pain possible that we are capable of doing together. So I'm going to go ahead and put those links in the comments, and thank you very much for your time today. I hope that this has been helpful and beneficial for you. And I look forward to working with you if you choose to reach out for me. And if not, I look forward to seeing you at some other video, some other place and time. We are all connected, one human family. And from my heart to yours, I wish you blessings of benevolent synchronicity. May you receive all of the help that you need showing up in your life in divine right timing for the greatest possible benevolence. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.